Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of our JustNoMil. In today's episode, MIL received our formal letter of no contact. After 2 years of NC, my NMIL popped up at my front door 3 hours ago and manipulated my husband into trying to have a relationship again. Spoiled brat SMIL, just a few sentences that made me cancel our vow renewal. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. MIL received our formal letter of no contact. So our solicitor sent out a letter to formally notify my MIL that we are going no contact with her. It didn't go over well according to GIL, who is a just yes. She'd been getting emails, phone calls and texts about how we can't keep her away from her baby girl. We've already been in contact with the police and informed them about our situation, and they were really understand and kind about it, but they did suggest that we look into moving, and we think that is a good idea. So we're moving when the twins start high school next year. We might be going to Western Australia. Hubby is up for a promotion, but it requires us to move to WA. So we just have to wait and see if he gets promoted. If not, we will be looking into getting a bigger house. So things are looking good. After 2 years of NC, my NMIL popped up at my front door 3 hours ago and manipulated my husband into trying to have a relationship again. It's too much to really get into all the details of what led up to the 2 years of no contact with my NMIL, but believe me that it was very necessary. I've been married to my husband for 20 years, and we have 2 children ages 19 and 5. My mother-in-law started acting different after her 3rd failed marriage and kind of defaulted my husband as being the man in her life. Prior to this last divorce, we actually had a pretty good relationship. Any drama or fighting etc. was always between her and my H and his siblings, who I'm very close with. But not much longer after the divorce, it was as if she turned all her attention on me. I was in disbelief for a while because I didn't understand what was happening. She started ignoring me and only communicated with my H. I could do nothing right anymore. And she let everyone know that. The behavior progressed, and it took about 3 years for my H to understand the extent of what was going on. Finally, my husband realized how toxic, among other things, his mom was and decided to just abruptly stop all contact with her. He has not answered one text or phone call at all in almost 2 years. During this time, she has texted him at least 50+ times, and has attempted even more phone calls. Her last text was just a week ago saying you just can't kick your family out of your life, which is funny, because that's exactly what she's been trying to do to me. She ideally would like to just have my husband all to herself, and it's creepy. When she showed up at the door, my H and her took a walk to the park and talked for about an hour and a half. I chose to stay inside and barely saw her, and didn't say anything to her as she kind of walked up when they got back. Because I chose a couple years back, after reaching my final limit with her after catching her in a major lie trying to get me and my daughter uninvited to my BIL's graduation ceremony, that I would never have a relationship with her again. I kept that to myself though until much later into my H's decision to not stay in contact with her. I think he meant it to be temporary, but it evolved into almost 2 years of NC. Until yesterday. Anyway, she did what she does best and obviously manipulated my husband into thinking she was sorry, and that things were going to be better from now on. Mind you, she has said this many times in the past when she has done something super hurtful to him, and my husband has always welcomed her back with open arms. I told my husband when he came back that for me nothing has changed. No matter what she says, I do not trust her, and I will continue to not allow her to be a part of my life or my daughter's life. My son is an adult, and I have never discouraged him from having a relationship with her. He really only sees her on occasion because he's semi-close to my H's little bro, who is only 10 months older than my son. NMIL ended up deciding to have a baby with the guy she left my H's dad for when my H was 18. She legit just ran off and didn't look back till she had my BIL, and that guy left her the week she gave birth. She remarried another man later, and that's the 3rd divorce referenced. It's not like she ever wanted my little daughter in her life anyway. She's never asked for her, and when she refers to me and my children, she refers to me as my husband's family. Before she unfriended/blocked me on all social media out of the blue in 2019, she'd post a pic and the caption would say _____ H's name and his family, or just _____ and family. She wouldn't say these are my grandkids or my daughter-in-law or anything like that. No mention of us being a part of her family. Which is basically how she treats me and my kids. She didn't always treat us this way though. Online she would even try to tag herself in our pics even when she wasn't there. I actually used to be pretty close to her. I mean, I didn't fully ever trust her because of some things that she did even before I met my husband, and then all the way through our relationship she's done really bad things to my husband and to other people in the family, so I just found it hard to fully trust in her. But she often came to me about my H and his siblings, and I tried to play peacemaker. Or so I thought. She often talked shit about everyone. Eventually I learned that people who are always talking shit and gossiping to you are probably gossiping about you just the same. Not trying to paint myself all saintly or anything, but I truly always showed her the utmost respect, in person at least, and I've never gotten into any arguments with her or ever said anything rude to her, and she was always welcome in my home. But after the last thing she did, I had it. I was done. Especially if she chooses to continue to ignore my children. That's where I draw the line. You can treat me however you want, but when you are hurtful towards my kids and you make them feel like they don't exist, then that's it. And my husband agreed, and that's ultimately why he hardcore went no contact. So basically my husband left. He came back real quick to get his golf bag and left his phone here, because I said I still don't want her in my life, and he got upset. He didn't say this exactly, but it was implied by his reaction, was hoping that I would be open to trying to re-establish some sort of relationship with her and allowing her back to some extent in our lives, but I said absolutely not. And he got upset and he left about an hour ago. I hate that I said this, but I told him it's either me or her because she's tried coming in between our relationship before. When he walked out he just flipped me off and took off, which is not something he typically does. So his reaction tells me that he was very affected by their meeting and really does want her back in his life, and I just don't know what to do from here. Update: when my H got home he gave me a huge long hug and told me how sorry he was and reassured me that me and the kids are his priority, and we'd figure this out. I suggested tabling the topic any further and asked if we could just talk about everything the next day after getting some much needed rest. I was mentally exhausted. So we went to bed early and talked when we got back from work. He told me he's not gonna let his mom be an issue, and that he respects my decision for me and my daughter to not have any relationship with her. It's not clear yet what type of, if any, relationship he will have with his mom after this. He also explained that he wasn't upset about my continued decision, but how I lashed out at him before he could really explain what was even discussed or how he really felt about the whole thing. I took all your advice about counseling, and he also agreed that this issue requires a therapist's help, and we have an appointment for Friday. He said he's going to continue not having any communication with his mom until we get professional guidance on the matter. And that's basically where things are for now. And we had a really nice rest of the day spent as a family. Thank you everyone for all your advice. I read everything and took it all in. And will definitely utilize lots of the really thoughtful suggestions offered. By the way, I realize after the fact that my post seemed to leave things out and was all over the place, which resulted in some confusion. I posted that right after it happened, and I was emotional and upset and just rambled. I attempted to make a few edits, but I understand it's not much better. There's just so much history to unpack. Thanks to everyone who was able to read between the lines, and to those who understand the sad and unfortunate narc experience. Take care everyone. Spoiled brat SMIL. Just a few sentences that made me cancel our vow renewal. A few months ago I posted about how I was stressed about planning a vow renewal cause my spoiled brat SMIL is all about her bio sons, and since my husband isn't one of them, all of our events she makes about her sons. So my husband told his family, and of course Bil2 said he couldn't get a day off 9 months in advance, so I changed the date by one day, not for him, but because a Saturday is better than a Friday. Current issue: since 2020 events have been delayed, it's been hard to find a place for our event. So I was telling JustNoMil about it, and I said that I'd rather do an evening thing since all the kids have sports during the day, my nieces and nephew. I said at this point I'd do it whenever we could find a spot. Then her light bulb went off. She said it would be great to do it in October. I was thinking it was to save us the money of having to pay for her and Phil's flight up. Nope. GCBIL1, after we set the date for the actual renewal at the chapel in February, decided just a month ago to go on a road trip, and he conveniently will be coming back the day of, and will be top tired. I was taken aback. I ignored it and said I am going to see what we can get as far as a restaurant or small hall for the evening, whatever date is open, and she kept on saying remember to check if it works for BIL1. Guess what, B*TCH, I refuse to have it at all now. I'm not going crazy trying to find a date that works best for one person. My vow renewal is not about her or her bio kids. I'd rather take my money and get a new couch. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.